Hey everybody, I just wanted to make a video here today. I want to take you into a country that has ancient pyramids and ruins, petroglyphs, and of course that is the United States of America. And I was doing a little research for some upcoming travel to Zion National Park, and I came across something that fit into my most recent videos. And something I was unaware of, and it kind of ticks me off what I found out. But this is Zion National Park here. It's one of the most beautiful places on earth. It is located in southern Utah, just a couple hours northeast of Las Vegas. But what I found out today is there's a place called Petroglyph Canyon, and that is located in this area. But Zion National Park, one of the most beautiful places on earth. This is the view from Angel's Landing, one of the most famous photographic areas in Zion National Park. But I just wanted to show you that, give you an idea of why this was designated a national park. But I found out today, and I'm going to share these websites that I found, and I was really glad to find them. But this is called Petroglyph Canyon, and what's kind of strange about this is if you ask a ranger about this, they'll probably tell you about it, but this isn't promoted at all, really. I found a couple websites that are just kind of generic, and I'm going to go over this in a little bit on kind of the strange circumstances of this not being really promoted. But this is the area of Zion National Park where these are located, and that's Petroglyph Canyon right here. And on one of the websites there is a map that shows you where it is. But here is the place where you have to park, and this is the area of Zion where these ancient petroglyphs are found. This is a little parking lot, but just a little panoramic view here, and the canyon is right up the way here. Now I'm going to try to show you exactly where it is. But this is where you have to take the hiking trail in. I'm just going to move in here and show you this better from the road. Once again, there is that little parking lot. And here is the entrance to Petroglyph Canyon. Just back out. This is what it looks like on Google Earth. And there is a hiking trail right up this way. I believe you can see it. You can see it kind of right here. But the petroglyphs are located just up the way here in this area that is shadowed out here. This is where they are located. But I just wanted to jump to a couple websites, and this one is just entitled Petroglyph Canyon Zion National Park, and this is by a guy, I believe, Death Valley Jim he goes by. But these are some of the petroglyphs that are found: bighorn sheep, spirals. If you can see here what looks like maybe like a scorpion, and I believe this tells not only shows the bighorn sheep, which obviously inhabited the area, but I believe there is celestial stories being told on these canyon walls. But I just wanted to read a little bit of this here. It says, Petroglyph Canyon in Zion National Park is a pretty well guarded secret. On the National Park Service scale of cultural site classifications, it has been ranked in number 2. What that means, if you go up to a ranger and ask him where to see petroglyphs, they will not tell you about this site. If you ask them about a canyon with petroglyphs, they will again not acknowledge it. However, if you ask for the site by name, they might tell you about it. It just depends on the ranger. The classification system has always come across as kind of silly to me. National parks are for the people of the United States land set aside for us by our government. Cultural sites are part of our nation's history, and we as citizens have the right to be educated hands-on about the history of the people of this nation. On the preservation side, there has to be a better way than to hide the cultural resources from the people who have a genuine interest in learning. I will add that this isn't a Zion problem, this is a national park problem. The same scenario is played out at national parks across the country. And it says, I found out about Petroglyph Canyon on the evening prior to arriving in Zion National Park after poking around a couple websites. Both websites provided rather vague clues as to its whereabouts. Needless to say, I'm always up for a challenge. And he just goes over his trip into Zion National Park. This is the path going up to the petroglyphs. And there is one little tiny box up here, I guess, and if I can read this, it says this: humans have occupied the Zion area for perhaps 7,000 years. Past inhabitants include archaic groups, ancestral Puebloans, or the Anasazi, or Fremont Indians, and ancestors of the southern Paiute. Any or all of these groups may have contributed petroglyphs to this site. New methods of dating rock art may soon help us determine the ages of the images, thus clarifying their relationships to particular cultural groups. And I find that all well and good, that at least they do acknowledge it with one little box here that you can sign a guest register, I guess. But this is some more pictures of the area where these petroglyphs are found. And here is another picture. Spirals and whatnot. And here you see a group of 3 beans grouped together. Here you can see the same symbol. It seemed like a man with outstretched arms, and that to many Native American tribes represented Orion, and I've gone over that in a few other videos, and I'll leave some links below. But here it is depicted as above, so below, maybe, is the depiction here. We have this snake-like thing right here, and these are all very interesting if you have any interpretation of these. But here, just like many other areas, we have spirals, we have a man with outstretched arms, and maybe this is a snake. It seems to have an open mouth here. Once again, I encourage, if you have an interpretation of these, to leave it below. But here it gives a map, how to get to the site. And here on this site, it's Zion's secret Petroglyph Canyon. And why it is a secret, that's just kind of stupid. But this is a good website. It goes over the petroglyphs of Zion National Park. It has some good pictures. It has a chapter finding the petroglyphs, and this is the wall that they are carved on. And there's actually a view out of a tunnel here in this area. But once again, I just think this is strange. And once again, here's that box. But once again, we have a site here that the government-controlled national park isn't promoting at all. And basically the government really doesn't want to share too much information about people that had set up civilizations in what was to become the United States. They just don't want to share that information. And I am sharing it today with you because I feel it's important. It's part of our history and we deserve to know about it. But here are some other petroglyphs. Once again, the group of the 3 beans turned sideways. As above, so below. And the outstretched figure was a depiction of Orion to many ancient cultures. But here are just a few more. And once again, I will leave these links below. But how did Zion National Park get its name? Well, it says the Mormons settled in this area around 1858 in the early 1860s. It says in 1909, the President of the United States, William Howard Taft, named the area a national monument to protect the canyon under the name of Mukuntuweap National Monument. In 1918, however, the acting director of the newly created National Park Service changed the park's name to Zion, the name used by the Mormons. According to historian Hal Rothman, the name change played to a prevalent bias of the time. Many people believed that the Spanish and Indian names would deter visitors who, if they could not pronounce the name of the place, might not bother to visit. The new name Zion had a greater appeal to an ethnocentric audience. So that is a little history on how the park got its name. I'm sure some of you with vivid imaginations are wondering why. Here's another look at some petroglyphs in Zion. I will leave all these links below. Here's a pretty generic thing that I believe the government puts out about this site. Doesn't really go into much detail, but at least they do put out a tiny bit of information. But why this isn't more widely known of, and why they don't use this as a promotion for the park, because I'm sure a lot of people, as myself, are interested in what went on in this country thousands of years ago, and it's not being promoted at all. I think that's kind of sad. Before I get off into a rant, I'll just say, hope you thought this was interesting. Have a nice day.